Welcome to a Taste of AZ podcast. My name is Luke Irvin, and today we've got an epic episode lined up for you. But before we jump into that, just want to let you guys know real quick, we've got some brand new merchandise up on our website, including these Thanks for Supporting Local hats and 2 new shirts as well. If you like today's episode, please also leave us a review on your favorite podcast app, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow our email newsletter. With nothing else to say, let's jump into today's episode.
All right, we're here at Wicked Rain. Justin, this was one of your clients.
Yes, indeed.
Right? You guys did a really good job with this place. Big shout out to Tony and Catherine and their team for letting us set up here. It's their anniversary weekend.
Yes, it is. And the Newmans are good people, and it's been a whole year already.
Yeah, right? How's that make you feel?
You know, I'm excited. I don't have too many that go out a lot of times. A lot of good success, and so it's really good to see these guys do well.
Are you in the neighborhood? You live around here?
South Scottsdale.
Okay.
That's where I office out of my house.
So not too far from here.
Nope, not too bad.
Nice, man. Nice. So, my guest is Justin McCallister of Arizona Restaurant Consulting. We met at Local First. What was that thing called?
Expo.
The Expo. Yeah. Been a lot of really, really cool people, and you were one of the coolest. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. We're here at Wicked Rain. I'm really excited for these guys. They're hitting their 1-year anniversary. They're blowing balloons up as we speak. Tony's over there. What's up, buddy? Really, really cool spot. I did an episode here a couple of months ago with Wizard of Za, the pizza guru, and he's a big fan of these guys. They actually sponsored his brewers bracket. I don't know if you've seen that. Basically puts 48 breweries in Arizona up against each other, like March Madness style.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Wicked Rain was the title sponsor this year. So
awesome.
Justin, where are you originally from? Arizona?
Moved out here in '97 from Missouri.
Okay.
Came out here to go to Culinary School,
Nice.
Scottsdale Culinary Institute, back when it existed. It's since most of the teachers have gone to Arizona Culinary Institute. They basically broke away when it got sold and to Le Cordon Bleu, and then became ACU, I guess is what they call it. So it worked out pretty good to come out here and get an education in culinary. Opened up a couple of restaurants around town that have a name, and
Nice.
I did my externship at the original Kona Grill.
Okay.
When it was actually a Hawaiian concept was how it originally opened. It was a Hawaiian concept, and then they ended up putting in a sushi bar after the fact.
Okay.
And it became what it is now, which is the Pacific Rim style restaurant.
Yeah.
I did my externship there, and then moved from there to open up the original or the North Scottsdale version of the Montes.
Okay.
Montes La Casa Vieja out of Tempe. And it was a short stint, about 3 months, just to get them open. And then my friend from Culinary School called me and wanted me to help him open up a restaurant he was getting involved with, which ended up being the original Mastro's Steakhouse.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the original Mastro's was here in Phoenix.
North Scottsdale, Pinnacle Peak, and Pima is the original location. Yeah.
Okay.
That was 20 plus years ago now.
Wow, man, we're aging, my
Yeah,
friend.
we're old.
So, let's back up a little bit. Why culinary school? Like, why was that the path that you went down?
You know what? I didn't have my head on straight in high school.
Okay.
And so when April of my senior year rolled around, I decided to think about my future.
Okay.
I needed to apply at a school by April, and I wanted to get into something that was fun. But that was the shortest amount of time in school to get me working as soon as possible.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, Scottsdale Culinary Institute was a 15-month program.
Yeah.
So it only took me that long to do that. I actually took a break in the middle of it, actually, and something that was kind of cool, part of my history was in the summer of '98, I ended up getting a gig with a marketing company.
Okay.
I flew back to St. Louis, which is in the neighborhood of where I'm from, and ended up doing a couple weeks worth of training. Went on tour with the A1 Rolling Steakhouse.
Wow.
A1 Steak Sauce that summer came out with 2 or 3 different kinds of steak sauce, and they needed a chef to cook steak samples at different events.
Yeah.
We went to things like the Indy 500, Dallas-Fort Worth Air Show, Portland Air Show, a number of other. Actually, I think we did Bentonville, Arkansas, the original Walmart. We cooked steak samples there.
Dang.
So I took the summer to do that. That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Came back and finished up after that. Yeah.
What were the different types? Do you remember the different types of A1 they had back then?
Bold, I think.
Okay.
Savory. I think they've still got most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, two or three of them there were. But we would marinate the steaks in A1 sauce.
Yeah.
And we educate everybody on why it's such a good marinade.
Yeah.
It's got raisin paste in it, which is very acidic. Yeah.
Interesting.
Never would have known that if I hadn't learned that. So very cool, very exciting.
See, I grew up an hour outside of Pittsburgh, so I'm a Heinz 57 guy. Right? Nothing against A1, but man, that Heinz 57 just hits right. Yeah. That's a really cool experience. Like to see the big picture, like a big company, right? A company that has probably tons of resources behind it, and you can, halfway through your culinary journey or the schooling side of it, you get to do that.
Yeah, it was a 53-foot tractor trailer.
Yeah.
That unfolded into a stage. The side of it lifted up with TVs on it. And we had the cameras right over the food as we were cooking it, and it was a trip. Yeah.
Man, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you said I don't know if the words you used was you didn't have your head on straight in high school. At least you thought of college, right? That's a good start, man.
Yeah, my parents inspired me to at least do that, and I did. So it was great.
Yeah, and
it's neat to look back and see how all of it was used, to help me do what I'm doing today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so how does that come into the picture, right? So this is in late 90s, early 2000s. You get through culinary school, start opening up restaurants, right, including the original Mastro's. How long were you in that on the chef side of things?
So I had a goal that within 2 years of being graduating from culinary school, that I wanted to be at least a sous chef.
Okay.
And I was able to achieve that goal at Mastro's. I started there as basically the lead prep.
Okay.
And then became the AM sous chef in charge of all the ordering and the organization of all the walk-in coolers and dry storage, and in charge of all the prep cooks that were getting ready for the evening service.
Yeah.
And then eventually worked my way into the evenings and began to run service and things like that. So it was definitely a good growth opportunity.
How'd you like it?
The chef lifestyle is a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah.
There can be a lot of addiction.
Yeah.
There can be a lot of substance abuse.
Sure.
I certainly had my share of that. But it just got to the point where the 80-hour work weeks were not something conducive to starting a family.
Sure.
So when we were expecting our first child, it was my best interest to break away from there.
Okay.
That's when I found a Monday through Friday job at Standard Restaurant Equipment.
Gotcha.
Sold restaurant equipment, got familiar with that. I thought to myself, how hard can it be? I can sell a 6-burner range, only to find out that there are about 300 variations to a 6-burner range that I didn't know of. 2,500 brands, not to mention different configurations. So just for that one piece of equipment, I found out, whoa, this is a bigger industry than I realized.
Yeah.
But worked with Standard for 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Well, so there was obviously something within the industry, even though you realized back of the house and that side of things weren't for you and what your goals were with family and stuff. There was something about the industry that still drew you in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I felt like I could use my chef background in that equipment scheme of things. After 2 years of selling equipment, I began to see a need for design work.
Okay.
There were customers that would come to me and be in need of design. So we hired an outside consultant for the first couple of opportunities. And as a result, I just looked over his shoulder and kind of figured out, I think I can do that. So
When you say,
a shot.
Sorry to interrupt, but when you say design, what do you mean by design? Like
we're talking about layout and design. So essentially taking a rectangle, whatever their space is, and drawing a kitchen, a bar, and a restaurant.
Blank canvas.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So it, and that's where that chef background really came in. I really began to realize that it was valuable in laying those type of situations out, because I could picture myself, building a sandwich.
Yeah.
How many steps does it take to build a sandwich? If I have to walk 5 steps to the left every time I build a Reuben, that's not efficient. That's not conducive to an efficient layout. So it's very neat to see that begin to affect my ability to lay out and design.
Yeah, and Reuben too. Right, way to you know me very well.
Hungry.
I think me too. I love a good Reuben, man.
Yes, sir.
I really do. So you had somebody. This was what you said. What is it? American Standard.
Standard restaurant equipment.
Standard restaurant equipment.
Yeah.
They brought in a designer to help with those, and you were seeing like, okay, was it a matter of, okay, I can do this, or was it I can do this and I want to do this? Like,
totally wanted to do it. Once I figured it out.
Yeah.
And again, the need was there. That was what was so cool. That's something I couldn't control.
Okay.
But sovereignly, if you will, the opportunity came.
Yeah.
And when the opportunity came, jump on it, and then another opportunity came.
Yeah.
So it's just been a series of opportunities up to this day that really has driven my entire career. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, seeing the opportunity and then taking action to see it through, right?
Yeah.
And that's not always easy, I'm sure,
No,
right?
Not always. There are some customers out there that aren't very fun to work with.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what separates the people that are serious with the ones that aren't, right?
Right.
If it's all rainbows and ponies, everybody'd be doing it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
That's one of the things about working at Standard that was interesting was I was selling equipment, which was my main goal. The design portion was not a goal necessarily. It was a means to sell equipment.
Okay.
And the more I tried to sell equipment, the more competition came up. And so I needed something to set myself apart.
Sure.
I needed something to basically make me more valuable and make me in a position to where I could secure that order when the time came.
Yeah.
And that design process and that relationship that was built through the design process really came to bear when it was time to purchase the equipment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
What were some of the bigger projects you worked on when you were with your previous
Standard?
company?
I wish I'd have prepared a little bit better.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah. Honestly, I got involved with Grimaldi's Pizzeria.
Okay. Yeah.
When they were 3 stores, actually 1 store, and I assisted them with equipment on their 2nd and 3rd store.
Okay.
And then the 4th store was their Las Vegas location.
Gotcha.
Off of, I can't remember the name of that road now, but basically southeastern part of Las Vegas.
Gotcha.
And ended up doing a design for probably the first 10, and then they brought on an in-house designer. And then I sold them equipment all the way through their 35th store.
Okay.
So
wow.
we went nationwide with that one. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. I'm a fan of Grimaldi's for sure.
Yeah. Locally, Oregano's, I worked with those guys during the early 2000s and during the 2000s. And we did Mesa, the ground-up build that they did in Gilbert.
Okay.
It was the first restaurant there. Now you've got the entire downtown Gilbert scene.
Yeah.
But it was dirt. But back then when we did the Oregano's
that's the mini
there.
Vegas, right? That's the
Pretty
mini
much.
strip, right? Yeah.
Pretty much. So I worked with the Oregano's folks, and they were good to work with. They got bought out, I think, and corporate took over and kind of changed things. So we were out at that point, but good to work with them anyway. A lot of fun. Yeah.
What is that's interesting you bring that up, right? Because my background is craft beer, right? And you got Four Peaks that is. We've got balloons popping here, celebration balloons. We've got Four Peaks that, they sold to Anheuser-Busch, and the craft beer enthusiasts are like, this and that about Four Peaks. They sold out, right? It's almost like a band, right? When a band makes it big. Is it the same? Because when you look at it, the goal of having a business is to build it, make it more valuable, and when somebody wants to buy it from you, that's a good thing, right?
Right.
Is that what is the perspective on the restaurant side of it?
For my end, it was a heartbreak.
Okay.
Each one of them was a heartbreak. When I stopped working with Grimaldi's and Oregano's, it was an emotional experience for me.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I invest my heart into these projects.
Yeah.
I take them very seriously and treat them as if it's my own.
Yeah.
I worked with some burros here locally for a lot of years, and they've just over the last year and a half gotten big enough. I think they're at probably 14 stores now.
Okay.
and they went a different direction a couple of years ago. So definitely heartbreak,
Sure.
because you see it grow, you see it get to that place, and then just to have it go is it's good to see him grow.
Yeah.
But it's a heartbreak.
Yeah. Well, it takes, because there's something about mom plot places,
Yeah.
right? Like Tony and Catherine here at Wicked Rain, they're the ones that they're doing everything, right?
Yeah.
They're literally blowing the balloons up for their anniversary, right? They don't have some corporate person in here doing that. So there's just something about it. My grandmother owned a restaurant all growing up, so you see the hard work that people put into it. But it is a tough one, right? Because it's like, okay, that's success, but it's at what cost, right? Sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now when you say design, I was thinking about this. You say design, and you mentioned a lot of things like back of the house. Did you do, and do you do, like front of the house as well, like kind of bar layout and things like that?
Yeah, bar layout for sure. Seating layouts not often.
Okay.
I like to let the architect handle that.
Gotcha.
They're a little more foo-foo and
Yeah.
frilly than I am. I'm more of a practical, application kind of perspective. So like for instance, Wicked Rain, the architect took over on the interiors. They put these nice U-shaped booths in and different soft seating and such. So they think outside the box on that one. It's just not my world. The interior design, foo-foo is not me.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is like know what you're good at, or know what you excel at, right?
Yep.
Well, so how did it go from standard working for the company Standard and get to doing your own thing? How does that come about?
Well, it took 17 years.
Okay, sure.
Working with Standard. It was a great relationship while it lasted, and it just got to the point where I felt like there was more.
Yeah.
I felt like I had more service to offer.
Okay.
Than would it didn't need to be all about selling equipment.
Yeah.
So I made the jump in. Officially, it was February of 2017, but I started Arizona Restaurant Consulting in about June of 2016.
Gotcha.
And so I ran it for about 6 months with a foot on both sides.
Okay.
And then when the proof of concept was there, and I had clients that had come on board. That's when I decided to take the jump.
Yeah.
Another kind of a faith jump,
Sure, yeah.
What am I going to do if this doesn't work out? You
Yeah.
know, so it was a great, ended up being a great move. Haven't starved to death yet.
Yeah.
So
Well,
good.
hey, that's a good thing for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so how was that? Like when you were starting Arizona Restaurant Consulting, and you're defining what the business is, what did you want it to be, right? Because obviously you can't be everything, like
Right.
So what did you want your company to be?
Well, obviously the design portion of it is one element
Yeah.
of a bigger picture. I wanted to be able to hold the hand of the restaurateur from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
That involves helping them find a location, like we did with Wicked Rain.
Yeah.
I've got a contact that's a real estate broker that does a great job in helping my clients find locations. Very patient. I think we searched out probably 6 or 8 before we found this one for Wicked Rain. And that gives me the chance to go out and give some feedback as to what's good about the location, what's bad, what it would take to make it what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And so the location finding, the initial design portion of it, the architectural that needs to be done, bringing on an architect. I've spent the last 20 years developing a network of individuals, all the way from real estate brokers to architects, to contractors, plumbers, electricians, name it, and I've got a resource for it. And so I make those resources available to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wicked Rain, they approach you. How did you connect with them specifically?
I believe they found me through my website.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, we helped them find the location. Once we did that, I took initial measurements of the space and got it space planned.
So they already had the location. Like they had the spot.
We helped them find the spot.
Okay.
Once we established the spot, then I came in when this was still a gym of some sort.
Okay.
Took initial measurements and got it laid out, and then we took that to a couple of architects, and they made a decision on which architect they wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And it was a great process. They got to see it through the design portion, the interior. Got to sit in on a lot of meetings with the architects where they're talking about the interiors and such. I like to listen in on that sort of thing, but I don't want to get involved with it. It's just not my deal. So then we then came the construction part of it, which I get very involved in. I oversee the underground plumbing work that needs to be done, make sure the measurements are appropriate, that they're following plans like they should be, and same way with electrical. All that information during the build-out phase, and we brought him a contractor as well. The contractor was Emerald Inc. on this project, and that's somebody I partner with quite often, and did a great job, and saw it through the purchase of all the equipment. So saw the equipment install and got them trained up on the equipment, bringing them the right people to get them trained on their speed ovens and things of that nature. So it just ended up being an overall great example of what I had intended from the very beginning, which is to hold their hand from beginning to end, and then see them 1 year later is pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. How it was just the way things worked out for us to be here, because, and obviously they had a great experience with you, right? Because if I would have reached out to Tony and I'm like, hey, I got you, like, no,
don't bring that guy in here.
But he's absolutely. He's like, yeah, come on in. And so for it to be full circle, for us to be here doing this episode with you on recording it on their first day of their anniversary weekend, that's awesome. That's full circle, man. I love it. I love it. So are there other, since, and by the way, I mean, I don't know, I'm sure it was intentional, but like somebody, you said they found you on your website, right? For somebody to Google, we need an Arizona restaurant consultant. I'm going to Google Arizona restaurant consulting.
Right.
That's your
Pretty
website.
Easy, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's SEO at its finest,
right,
man.
Exactly. Didn't want to complicate things.
Yeah, right. That's my thing sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to call this Oracle Consulting Group. Or like, what do you do? I'm like, I don't know. So very clear and very concise, man. That's good. So you said 2017 is when Arizona Restaurant Consulting started.
Right.
Wicked Rain was one of your clients. Who are some other ones that you had fun experiences with, or something unique, challenging ones?
I really enjoy my architectural relationships. The folks that bring me in on a project. A couple going right now. I've got a small wings place that an architect from years ago, it was actually an architect for one of the Oregano's locations.
Okay.
He looked me up all these years later and brought me in on a little wings place. There's not much to it. It's easy, couple of fryers and a refrigerator or two, and that's about it. But that's a fun one going right now. I've got quite a few prospects, a lot of good stuff on the horizon. There's a large food court in Houston that I've just recently put a bid in for. The architect's actually out of Pennsylvania, and they found me on the website as well. And so they've requested a bid for a 36 suite food court.
Oh, wow.
So there's 36 vendors there. 6 different bars, a huge prep kitchen, and a large walk-in cooler and freezer. So I'm really hoping to have the opportunity to do that one. It's looking pretty promising right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
When that opens, you let me know.
Absolutely.
That's 6 bars. That's my that's my world right there in food. So all right, this is something I'm starting to ask people because we talk with all these people in the industry, and people love recommendations, right? So for you personally, what are some of your favorite places around the valley to grab a drink or to eat, or what are some of your favorites right now? The folks from Oregano's ended up breaking off and opening Rehab Burger. Oh, I didn't know that.
Love to go to Rehab Burger. Yeah, Rehab Burger's got great food. It's Ken. He's still the chef over there and making fantastic food.
Okay,
fantastic burger. So that's a place we frequent quite often. I love coming here for a couple of a beer every now and then. I've come a couple times over the last year, and I gotta think, man.
Those are too good
on the spot.
Too good. that was a two. That's a good start with those two for sure.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, dude, thanks for joining the show. We look forward to working with you more for sure.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you, being an advertiser in the magazine, and hopefully that's working out for you well, and you're getting some good love from that.
Indeed. Yeah, I got a call like within the first day or two, as a matter of fact, of having advertised. A guy out in the Southeast Valley give me a call right after he got the magazine. So that was pretty good result.
Nice, man. Nice. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so how do people find you? Like, what is the?
My website address is AZ, as in Arizona, azrestaurantconsulting.com.
Excellent.
Try to keep it easy and simple.
I like it, man.
Indeed.
I like it. And so if people are opening up a spot, if they're looking to expand, like you kind of cover all of that, right?
Try to cover anything restaurant. So if you've got a new location in mind as an expansion, if you've got a dream for a restaurant, I can help get you in reality for that.
Yeah.
And I'll be brutally honest. I'm going to put you in reality.
That's good.
Because if you think you're going to do it for $50,000, you're wrong. I just had a call a couple weeks ago with that exact scenario. So I want to make sure that folks are in touch with reality when they do this process.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's a good attribute to have because I think our instincts are sometimes to be like, it'll be. Yeah, you'll be good. You'll be good. Like, oh shit, I should probably tell them otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, awesome, Justin. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, and keep up the good work, dude.
My pleasure. Thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome.